Hey everybody, we're here at Painter Soiree and we're going to be doing your painting today. So we're going to try to keep you guys occupied, have some fun. We're going to go through some colors. This is what we're going to be painting here. So if you guys can see, we're going to be using blue, red, and yellow. We're going to try to mix all of those colors and we're going to make brown. We'll be able to use some brown for this. And what we're going to do is we're going to start real simply, guys. We're just going to kind of give everybody a minute to get logged in, kind of check on everybody. We'll see some people start popping in. We'll probably get painting in about 3 minutes, I'd say, or so, 3 or 5 minutes. We've got our son back there, Noah. He's going to be painting along with us. And he'll be our pace setter, so we'll be able to share and kind of see how everyone's doing, and let us know. Let us know in the comment section and see how you guys are going along and painting and colors. If you guys had seen the video earlier, Tara had made a video how to make some colors from home. And that was a really cool video because it was just with some food coloring and some flour and some water. So that's a really safe, easy way for kids to use some finger paint and stuff and make it fun for everybody. So we're going to let you guys get situated here. You guys kind of log in and we'll kind of give everybody just a minute here. Get your paints here, all right. Yep. He was saying that we'll do, if you guys need any extra time or anything as we're going through this, just let us know. And this video will be up on the Facebook page so you guys can go back and watch the video again. We'll try to keep it up as long as possible. And then we have more coming tomorrow too, so we're going to have, we got was really excited about this one, so we're going to do the galaxy painting tomorrow, so that'll be a lot of fun. And I'll zoom in on that one again before the end of the paint session here today. And hang that back up here so you guys get a little visual reference. And I'll get started with just a couple of painters. We're going to use red. I'm just going to put a little bit of red right there. I'm going to use yellow. Put some yellow right here. And blue. All right. And with these three colors, we're going to be able to make any color that we need. So when we go do the middle of the sunflower, we're going to be able to mix all the colors and get a brown. We'll be able to add a little bit of red to the yellow and get some of the orange that you see there. And then the green. We're going to mix some yellow and some blue and we'll make some green. And if you guys have those colors, awesome. And if you guys don't, we'll be able to mix some colors and we'll kind of show you guys how you can make the best of it. We'll have a real good time. Kind of talk about some art. We're going to talk about some paint theory stuff. We'll kind of go over what everything got going on. So we also have our paint palette, and we're also going to have our paintbrushes. So I have 3 paintbrushes here. I have a big paintbrush, a medium paintbrush, and a small paintbrush. And what I'll do is I'll try to call out these brushes as I'm using them. I'll say, all right, now I'm going to use the big one, and I'll pull out the big one, and then I'll use the small one for the smaller detail. And then every time I use these paintbrushes, I'm going to want to put them back into the water. That way, any of the paint that gets on there doesn't dry out, and that makes sure it gives us our brushes longevity. And if you guys aren't using brushes, you could always use your fingers for finger painting, and that's always also lots of fun. So, all right, we'll kind of get started here. What we got going on? We got, you need some something? What you got? Oh, so we just smashed it in the brush a little bit. That'll work out perfect. And then just dip it in the water and then kind of smash it on the palette there. Perfect. And kind of smash those bristles in there. All right, so we're going to take our big brush. I'm going to take my palette, and what we're going to do is we're just going to start on the background first. We're going to start with the background and these blue swirls and white in the swirls here. We're just going to kind of start tracing out our background. And the fun thing about these kind of paintings is they're whatever you want it to be. There's no mistakes in painting. It's the best part about painting. There's always things we can add, kind of just make them personal. I'm going to do one kind of looks like a little swirl over here. Kind of do a swirl in the middle here. How you doing back there? Can you see those swirls? A little bit, all right. Oh yeah, it does look like a G. That's a good way to draw that, just like a G. And then we'll do this one. It's just kind of like another little swirl, real big. It's going to give us just a little bit of flow, yeah, like a big C or a lowercase e, maybe like a swirl. We're going to do another little swirl right here. And you don't have to worry too much about getting all the paint covering it all right away. We're going to add more and more color, and it's just going to kind of start layering and layering like a stencil, and it's just going to take some slow steps. Be a good spot for the moon shadow right here with a little moon placement. All right. I'll give you guys a minute with these little swirls. Let me go check out in the back here, my paste center. Looking good. It's really good. Yeah, just a little spot for the moon's going to go. Perfect. All right, now we kind of have a little sketch here of what we got going on. We're just going to start adding a little bit of blue. Oh, you know what? Another color that we were going to need. White. Just a little bit of white. You have some, huh? I forgot. We already pumped nose white, but I'm going to add a little bit of white on there also. So then when I start going in, I'm going to mix a little bit of the blue and a little of the white right next to each other. I'm just going to kind of accentuate, add on this little area here and these swirls. So these swirls are going to get a little bit bigger. I'm going to add some white to them, and the white's going to really help build that color and give two different dimensional colors. It'll give you a dark blue, and then as it fades out to the white, it'll give it some depth. And it looks real cool. Pretty neat so far, huh? Swirls just kind of turn out. So you got a little bit of white, a little bit of blue. All right. And I'm just going to kind of keep adding a little bit of blue. I'm going to wrap around the canvas on the top. And you guys could use canvas, you guys could use a cardboard, you guys could use a piece of paper. Art can be done on anything, anything at all. Just add a little bit more white, a little bit more blue here. And I'm going to kind of to the top here, and that's going to give me a little bit of change of direction and kind of break up the background just a little bit. Going to add a little bit more blue and some white here. White add out that way. All right. Kind of really start to make these swirls pop. Getting a little of that background going on. So that trip right there. Gonna blend that in. Add a little bit of white to the back side of this swirl here. Just kind of blend that one out to the back. Blue and white. Start mixing it in. Yeah, able to add a little white also here in the middle. I'm gonna start kind of filling in this little swirl here. Lighten it up a little bit. And still maybe keep this dark blue line. Just kind of keep that for a little while. It might get blended into the background later, but looks pretty cool right now. And we saw some of your guys' pictures that you guys had uploaded and sent to us. They're just amazing. There's just so much talent out there with you guys painting and expressing yourselves. It's just wonderful, wonderful to see. It was just amazing. It really makes this worth it. So we're going to keep adding to the background here. We're going to kind of add a little more blue, some blue and some white. Make this a little bigger. So I see a couple of comments here about rewinding. If you guys do want to watch it, once it does play all the way through, I think there will be a replay button, or you guys can go back through and watch it again. Um, and absolutely, if you guys want to paint on cardboard, or even if you want to do chalk, crayons, coloring on anything, this will just be kind of a way to go through some color theory. It absolutely doesn't need to be a canvas. We're just going to make the best of whatever we have, any way we can. So, um, and then we'll just kind of go back over what we have here. We just have our paint palette here. It's just going to be our primary colors. We got blue, red, yellow, a little bit of white. And right now we're just using the blue and the white, doing a couple of swirls. We started with some swirls here, some swirls over here, some dark blue. And you guys could jump in at any time you guys get this going. You could rewatch it, add the background later, change it up a little bit, anything you guys would like to do. Do lots and lots. Add a little more white here. Just add a little bit more water to my brush. And when I do dip my paintbrush into the water, you'll kind of notice that it'll sit on top of the brush a little bit. So what you want to do is you kind of want to just dab the water into your bristles, and then you can kind of mix it up, and then that'll really help you the paint from running on your canvas or your whatever surface you're painting on. And then it'll also help you kind of blend and give you a little more length in your paint strokes, and kind of help you maximize the paint that you guys have, whether it's paint or food coloring. That'll really help out. Need some more blue? Looks great. Good job. All right, I'm going to keep going with this white here and my biggest brush. The biggest brush just helps me get more paint coverage as I'm kind of going in the background with less detail. You could use the small brush to get a little more detail. And that's just all your guys' personal preference and whatever you have. Kind of go back in with a little bit of the white, a little bit of the blue at the same time. Kind of help blend those swirls in. Up here, sorry. Yes, well, you can use the blend in. You're doing great. This is really good. You're doing a good job. To get this this little section here is where a majority you can see of this big sunflower is going to go. So I'm going to kind of just work up to what I think is about where that paint coverage is going to be at. And the way that I'm going to kind of judge it is I'm going to kind of look at it like a paper plate. And we'll use this paper plate as a reference for making a circle later. That's what I'm going to kind of use just to reference my corner here. I'll give myself a little rough mark. And that way I know if I'm painting, I cover up past that line when I go to do my flower. All the background will be covered up. We'll have any little holidays poking through, whether it will just be blank canvas. Just kind of add some more colors down here. A little blue. Maybe that'll be where some of the swirls start. And a little more white up here. One of the things that's going to help is kind of smearing the paint to kind of get it to be a little thin. If it clumps up as you guys are painting, it'll just be a little harder to go back over and it'll just make a different color. So we'll just give it a little bit of a minute to dry. Kind of let everybody catch up. Do a little bit of white over here. And you guys can add any color you guys want. If you want to add different colors to the background, if you only have green or red or yellow, you can make this any painting that you want. It's just going to be about kind of spending some time and letting your creativity flow, you know? Going to get this part of your brain working. All right. Put some white down here. Blue. I'm going to check on the little guy in the corner right here, and I'm going to be right back with you guys. Let you guys kind of get caught up. How you doing? Looks good. Looks really good. All right. Let's see this little spot right there for the back. Kind of bring that swirl back around. A little white, a little blue in here. It's going to give us all different kind of shades of baby blue, some dark blue, and some white. Give us all sorts of swirls here. We really appreciate you guys logging in and joining us. Makes it really worth it seeing all the feedback and got some wonderful pictures of your guys' art. This the Ortega family, thank you guys for the donation. If you guys, we're just gonna kind of keep that with whatever you guys do, and it's we'll put it right back into this and keep it as going as long as we can possibly do this for you guys. Couple of swirls there. Let's add a little more blue. I think I'll let that just sit for just a minute or two. Kind of let the paint dry, and then I'm going to go and throw my brush into my cup. Now, if you guys have your water cups out on your table, and you also have your cup, see, I have my coffee cup. I want to make sure I don't throw my paintbrush into my coffee cup, and I want to make sure that I don't drink my paint water also. We'll just let it dry for just a minute. That way we can add them. All right. You guys kind of see those little colors, that little water right there in a little bit, but that's all right. We just blended it right in right away. Just we'll give you guys a few minutes between these steps. That way you guys can kind of catch up, let your paint dry, and then also through these steps, if you guys go back through and watch these videos, there might be a pause button that might give you guys a little break as you go through. The paint whole class will be about 2 hours long. It'll be about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that'll just get you guys through our pace. You guys can always slow down and go back over it, rewatch, add any extra details and stuff. And yeah, just kind of make it your very own painting. It's always just about having fun and kind of just expressing it. All right, you ready for some grass? Yes. You want to make some grass? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to mix these colors for you guys, just in case you only have 3 colors. If you do have a green that you use, and then if you guys want to follow along, I'm just going to use blue and yellow, and I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow here. I'm going to drag some of my blue off from this side as well, and I'm going to try to make the green. And let's see how well I could do this. Upside down and close to you guys. And I'm going to try to get just enough green to where I can actually do the whole section of green, and that way I don't have to make it twice. But if I do have to make it twice, it'll just give me a little bit extra texture. 2 different colors, and you can kind of see, smash the brush in there, kind of get all the bristles in there, get it full of paint. Close to green. Let's add a little bit more blue. Let's try a little more blue. Get that a little darker green. Do you have green? And that got you a little bit of a lighter green, huh? If you add white. So Noah added a little bit of white, and that got his green to be just a little lighter. So add a little white too. You could go, oh, yeah, that looks And then what I'm going to do is I'm still going to use my big brush, and I'm going to take the full of paint here. I'm going to just start from the bottom, and I'm going to do short brush strokes from the bottom, pushing firm, and then kind of lifting up, kind of like I'm going to like take it away from the paintbrush or canvas, and that'll give you those little grass strokes. You can kind of see that in the corner. And what I'm going to do is it's like this. You kind of just push a little firmer on the bottom, and then when you go up, you're going to just kind of pull away from that, and then you can kind of see how that looks like a little bit like grass. At least grass that we're going to use here for the distance. And we could always add a little more blue, get a little more contrast in these colors. We're just going to use our big brush and bring that grass right up to our skyline that we kind of left right at the bottom here. We're going to just cover that all up. Yeah, dab a little bit of yellow in here. And how I'm going to kind of dance around this palette here is I'm going to go from this section of green, which will be a little lighter, and then I'll go to this section of green, closer to the blue. It'll be just a little darker. And then when I kind of go back over each other, you can see a little bit of color texture there. Really helps it look like grass. Do a little yellow green here. Get some longer blades. There's some dark green. A little blue again here. I'm just going to add a couple of those in there. And here's that palette again. So we just did yellow and blue, and we just kind of use that as our coloration over there of what our green is. So we'll have the lightest green here and darker green over here. Mix it in. Looks awesome. I saw what Noah did a little bit, and I like what he did. And I'm just going to add just a little bit of white on my brush, and I'm just going to highlight just a little couple of these corners. It's got some cool looking grass. I like that. Very cool. All right. And as you guys are kind of getting this grass going, we're going to use the same palette and the same green. And I'm going to use it to trace out this little stem. And you can kind of see as I'm going over what shape it's going to be. It's kind of like a stretched out S, you know? So if an S was real dramatic, we're going to kind of just pull it out, make it like a little longer version. And I'm going to go about, I'll use my hand here, I'm going to go about 5 inches from the side, about a hand right there. You can kind of see my hand there, make a little mark. And that mark's just going to be like a little reference of how far we can just trace down. We're going to have our stop going for our first sunflower here. kind of trace out like a little stretched out S. So what I did is 5 fingers like this. Just one from the edge right there. Leave a little mark. Takes a pretty little. That looks really good. That looks really good. Cool. And you can see that this sunflower right there is about right in the middle of the gap between the two. So I'm kind of looking at it as between the edge of your canvas or paper, cardboard, or concrete, open space, whatever you got. We could do this right here. Do about halfway. Just kind of go with a little squiggly line on down. I'm going to copy a couple of these little branches here. You can see this little swirly here. So there's 2 on this one. There's just one little right there. I'll kind of do this. Add one on the left side. And then I'm going to add one to the right side. This is all with my big brush still. I go back to the screen here. Got that little branch right there on that little sunflower. And for the top of this sunflower right here, it kind of comes out like a triangle. So we'll just kind of, I'm going to make like a little triangle at the top. And that's going to be this little spot right here for the bottom of that sunflower. And I'll give you guys a minute to kind of catch up. I'm going to throw my paintbrush back in my cup for a minute. Over here. Oh, that looks nice. And then you want to just add a little petal wherever you want to add. You could add like a little arch here, maybe one over there. Looks really good. We're just kind of hanging out here painting with you guys. I'm sure you guys might have some music on, or might have your favorite TV show on the background, or watching a movie. We want to just make sure we're able to keep this up for you guys as long as possible. So I'm going to switch over to my medium brush. I'm just going to start doing a little I'm going to fill in the little triangle that we just made. I'm going to add a couple of little bending branches, a little leaf petals off the sunflower here. And how we kind of do this process this way will really help us layer the sunflower over the top. We'll do this big sunflower, this one, this one. We'll kind of give it all this layer and depth when we're all done. So I'm just adding a little bit of yellow, kind of a little bit of highlights. A little bit of green just to kind of soften them up just a little bit. I'm going to do that on both of these little branches, just a little bright yellow. And I'm also going to blend it back in with the green. It's like a little bit of sneaky yellow poking out of there. Little. And those are just kind of like little waves, and that's the bottom part of the sunflower. Some of this will get covered up, and we're just going to kind of use a little yellow again on the edge there. Spots that are poking out. Some of these might get covered up, and that's all right. But the ones that are poke out will really help give a little bit of character. This guy. Kind of looks like a sand palm tree. That's all right. We're going to make them happy with a big old sunflower on there. Just going to kind of bring my brush through here also with my paint I do have on there. Just spread some of that paint out that I have. Mm-hmm. I'm going to keep adding a little bit more green here. Just kind of like layering some of this stuff on. This grass, it really just starts coming alive. All the extra layers on there. Just awesome. Gonna add a little triangle right here on the top also, kind of make a little spot. That'll be a little landing spot for the next little sunflower that we got going on. Do you have a tractor already? Oh, I gotta show him. This looks too cool. Can I show him? I just gotta give him a glance. I gotta give him a little glance. All right, you guys can check this out. Noah jumped a little further ahead, but he added a tractor already. You guys can have all sorts of fun. That's awesome. Yeah, oh yeah, that's just a sneak peek. That was just a sneak peek. He's working on that masterpiece. He's going to show you guys where he added the tractor. Now that we got the blue and the white as our background, and we started here. We mixed the blue and our white here, and then when we wanted to do the green, we brought the yellow to the blue. We made the green in the middle, and now for the next step, we're going to make brown. And we're going to use the green that we made. We're just going to bring some of the red into it. And if we use red, yellow, and blue all together, that makes brown. So bring a little more yellow in here. You can see the colors start to churn. 10, a little more red, a little more blue. Kind of get it to be a little bit of a darker brown. You can see here I add a little more red. And you guys could just add, mix it till you guys find the color that you like, the brown that you guys want to use. And it looks like I got just about even parts. So I got even blue, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of red, maybe just a little bit more blue, I'd say, in this one. And that's what it kind of gave me, is that brown color right in the middle there. Right what we're going for. All right, let me get Noah some more paint real quick. Then we're going to start on these little bright spots right there for the middle of the sunflower. Right there. Right there. All right. So we're going to start, I think the best spot to start is going to be at this one. That way, if this one kind of overlaps, this will be in the front, and we'll keep this flower in the foreground. We'll keep these flowers in the background. All right. So I'm going to use brown. I'm going to use this brown color that we made with our three primary colors. And I'm going to try to make a shape, I guess would say like a football, kind of like an eyeball. I'm going to do a little half a circle right here. And I'm going to do a half a circle on the top. I'm going to just fill it all in once you guys get that shape. And you can see here how I kind of, there's a gap. I made the brown stick out a little bit further than the green here. And you'll see also that these yellow petals right here are going to kind of arch around. These petals are going to be just so awesome for us. They're going to hide any little gaps that we have as they go around the edge. They're going to blend in all this stuff. And they're going to be just kind of like our Band-Aids if we want to add them anywhere we mess up. It's going to be just real easy to go through this flower spot. All right, so we got our football shape there. We can do our, you got your football shape? Yellow, a little more yellow. All right. I want it to look. There you go, you will. All right. So what we want to do is, I'll kind of add this next one is going to be a full circle. I'm going to go right here, and it's going to go circle all the way around. Circle all the way around. Just like that. We'll kind of use that one as a little guide here, and that's going to be that one. In the circle here, you can see it looks like it's going to be a little bit bigger than that flower, but when we go to make our petals with our small brush, we will start on the inside and go out. Kind of help cover up that edge and blend those two together. Alrighty, I'm going to add a couple more of these little sunflowers down here. And here's a technique that we kind of use is when you're using your paintbrush, if you do just kind of push firmly using one spot and kind of twisting with your thumb, kind of like this little brush rolls. If you just kind of push and twist, it'll really help you kind of make a circle right there. And the bristles on the brush fan out and kind of help you make like a kind of like a protractor that kind of spin in place with your centerpiece and gives you a little circle there. Okay, I'll show you in just a minute. Let me get these two circles here and four circles here. So I'm going to do one right here. I think I said protractor earlier, but I meant to say compass. It'll be a little circle here. Right. Right here, maybe. All right. Another one. All right, and again, we made our brown. We used our red, our blue, and our yellow. Kind of just mixed it all together. And as I want to lighten up this brown, kind of give myself some highlights, I'll just go from the yellow side. Start mixing a little bit of yellow into the brown on the top portion of my palette here. That's going to give me a little bit of brown. That'll kind of just help break it up a little bit. I'm just going to add a couple little spots of that, a little more yellow into this lighter brown area. Kind of make it look like a glare, a little bit of reflection, a little light bouncing off these guys. I'm using my medium brush, and then this last little spot I'm going to do, instead of doing like a paintbrush stroke or trying to smear the paint, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap it on there with my bristles with a little bit of yellow on there, and then as I kind of dab the little middle of my sunflower, it'll leave me little holiday spots. You can kind of see where it's going to poke. Just a couple, just along the edges here, give you some detail. Ready? All right. You want to present it, and then you want to take this one in? All right. And here is Noah's. He got a little bit further ahead, and this is our 8-year-old's of our sunflowers with an added tractor in it, and a man, and some sunflowers. Yeah.
And some corn and a scarecrow.
Awesome. All right, well, let's just set this one out. We'll show them real quick, and we'll set that one out to dry in the sun. And we will see how far this one goes. Man, that's a lot of fun painting with him. It's fun when the kids kind of get involved and they get to painting and you see where they just kind of go, and he saw a little tractor and he just couldn't even help it. I have a tractor in here. All right, you go right ahead. Cool, very cool. All right. Looking good so far? All right, this next little section is going to be this sunflower right here. So how we're going to get the sunflower circle, if you guys were wondering, paper plate. So I'm going to take this paper plate, I'm going to place it in my bottom right corner here, and I'm going to trace. You trace out the circle of the plate. Using the old paper plate, I'm going to get a nice round circle, and I'll be able to start filling it in with the rest of my brown. Fill on the side. Come all the way around here. And it's totally all right. If you guys is painting your blue paint underneath this is kind of blending in, it didn't dry, or it's a little extra thick, that's all right. We'll just blending it out. Just add a little bit dark spot right there. Maybe lose a little bit of blue and brown, so it's no big deal. Just gonna get a different color. Cover up this green spot right here. I'm glad I went that far so I could cover it with the flower. Kind of bring some of these. It's brown over here. And I'm using my medium brush on this just to kind of get a little different textures as I'm going to add these colors, but you can use a big brush, you can use a small brush, whatever you're comfortable with. Once I kind of get the whole thing painted, I'm going to go back over it and just drag that paint around just to thin it out. Gives me a uniform color, but it also helps me smear out any of those big clumpy spots so it'll dry faster. A little bit brown. So I'll kind of zoom in. I'll bring the original painting up close for you guys to see the texture that's in the bigger leaf, the bigger sunflower. It's going to be just speckles from your palette, so you got a little bit of speckles up here from your yellow portion, and then over here you'll see this is going to be probably from the blue area, the blue-white area, like our background. Little spots of red. So we're going to cut around with our small paintbrush. We're going to speckle that big old brown sunflower spot right there and make it kind of look like some seeds. And this is kind of just going to emulate the light bouncing off different parts of the sunflower there. So I'm going to use my smaller brush, this little guy there. And I'm just going to dance around different spots in my paint palette. So I'm going to keep the red, the yellows right here. I'll bring the reds down to about the middle, and then I'll do those blues down here. And I'll just kind of go a nice little descent down the sunflower. Color will kind of make it look like a little bit of a rainbow, a little bit of light hitting it. And fading down. A little darker color. Bring that blue into that brown here. Just a little bit of blue. I'm keeping a little bit of blue on the brush because I want to poke through it. I don't want to blend it in all the way, but give it a little bit of vibrance to it, to some red. Smear that out, get a little bit of yellow in there. And I'm just bouncing around sporadically. It doesn't have to be in any particular spot. Blues into the red. A little dark blue on this bottom section. It's real fine, just a nice little touch. And we're going to do these little highlights right where these petals down. It'll block some of them, but it'll also let you have some of these poking through the sides and kind of fill in any of those. Really kind of give it a little bit of depth. These paintings are so much fun. You can really kind of just see all the little magical colors up close. You know, stuff that you don't really notice from far away, but when you really take the time, especially when we have a little bit of time to look at things from a whole new light, kind of see what's going on. Yeah. I got a couple of these bright yellow spots up here, a couple of red ones here also. I'm not pressing as firm on this one. I'm just kind of letting just the very tip of the bristles that are covered with red kind of just dance right along top of the canvas. As soon as they touch, just kind of pull it back real quick, and it lets it just deposit just a small amount of color on there. Get a little yellow, kind of did the red down into here. This will probably be the darkest part of the painting here. Add a little more blue. And while the red was on my brush, I dipped it in the blue. It kind of gives a little bit of purple. You won't be able to see it too much, but just where they blended together on the brush, you'll be able to see it poking through the purple. And while I got my small brush, I rinsed the red and the blue out. And I'm going to just add from my white. Here, I got a little bit of white right here. I'm going to add my moon. So I've got a little half a circle moon right here. You just start small, just kind of start building that half circle out so you start seeing the shape that you really like. And with my white on my small brush, I'm just going to kind of deposit some of that white on here just over these blue spots to kind of break it up. And you'll see as I start dabbing my little paintbrush on here, we're going to get some of these really nice details with our primary colors, which will be our reds, our yellows, and our blues. They're going to kind of just wash through the background. And it's going to give it a lot of movement. So that white and blue and the baby blue that we have in the background won't look so flat. We're going to have all these real pretty little colors in here. It's a lot of fun. Start looking on your palette and see all these colors start popping up and where they can start going on your painting that you're making. So we'll start making these leaves here in just a minute. Let you guys kind of get caught up before we start jumping onto the petals too much. We really appreciate you guys joining in. Yesterday just was the highlight of the day. It really was. I got to see so many amazing photographs of the artwork. It was just awesome. Just a lot of people coming together from all over, not just California. Had some people in Chicago. We got all sorts of emails. It was just wonderful to see people come together. Really is. All right, I'm going to use my paint palette just a little bit like a fan here. And I'm going to start with these petals down here. And I kind of work my way around back to this big guy right here. And that'll kind of let me get some practice with my yellow and red. And then when I'm real comfortable and I kind of got the palette color that I really like, I'll be able to jump on these and my textures are going to be just fine. So I'm going to take my small brush. I'm going to take my yellow. And I'm just going to use yellow right now. I'm not going to add any extra colors. And I'm going to go from the outside of this little sunflower. And I'm going to kind of just do short little strokes inwards. You'll see you're going to get a little bit around. Some of these little petals here aren't totally dry yet. That's all right. I'm just going to kind of keep adding a little more yellow. Spin my brush around. Kind of dance the brush a couple times. Next one. I can show you what I did there a little closer on the back of this. So what I did is I just took my paintbrush and I just dabbed the yellow like that and I just drug it into the brown spot, which is going to be the center of my sunflower, and I just did that all the way around. Kind of going back to the yellow, stopping a little bit, and then I go back over, brighten up some of those. Kind of see there. And then if you do have a little spots you want to add the brown back, you kind of just bring that circle back. And I'm going to do that to all of these little flowers right here on the bottom. Not to get in your way. And I'll do this. Round this one out a little bit. Same thing with this here. I'm just getting that little small brush covered in yellow and just doing short little brush strokes all the way around. So far there. One more. So I kind of did those ones sporadically. You kind of see a little bit of a gap, and then I'll go back and I'll get a little bit of a different yellow on just a different spot on the palette. So you guys can see that I have the yellow right here. I'm going to take a little bit of yellow from right here. Go back over these ones. That helps give me a little bit of texture in there. I'm going to go back over with just the bright yellow just one more time. These guys really make it pop. Thank you guys again for joining us yesterday, and we'll have another painting tomorrow. It's going to be this one over here in the corner. It's a galaxy. And we'll go over in the morning again tomorrow morning. We'll kind of go back over with a couple of the colors that you'll need. We'll find some creative ways to make them, whether it's going to be food color or flower, any other stuff that we can find, a little hack for you guys, so we can keep them smart together. We'll have her teach tomorrow, and then I'll be back with you guys on Thursday. All right, and then I got my little brush. I'm going to throw this into my hot cup. See the touch get all right. As soon as we get it out of the bristles there, you can see that even though it's dirty water, it still rinses them out pretty clean. And I'm going to switch from my small brush now. I was using my small brush. I rinsed it out in the water. I'm going to switch to medium brush here. It's all rinsed out. It's got nothing in it. Just a little bit of water. I'm going to go dip it into this yellow here. Just like this. And on this one, I'm going to go outwards. So I'm going to go from just a little bit on the inside of that circle. You can see that's going to be my starting point. You can see how it's a little bit inside of that the brown circle. And that's going to give me the advantage to when I go outwards like this, you're still going to have that brown spot. It's the spot for that little leaf petal to land on. So I'm going to just kind of start going around the flower, pushing a little bit firmly, and then I'm dragging it away. And then kind of just pulling it off. I'm going to dip back into the yellow here. And just go back around and fill in those holiday spots. And as you're going back around, you're going to see that you're picking up more yellows and browns, and it's kind of filling in those little extra spots around here. So we still got a little bit of the spring here. Keep myself in that circle here. Touch up that top part of that sunflower. And I'm going to add a little bit of white with my brush. So I have yellow here. I got my yellow. I'm going to also add just a little bit of white from the top of my palette. I'll lighten up that. A little white on there. I'll kind of go through there also. It's going to bring some of those reds out. Kind of highlight these little spots a little bit. Get back into the brown. Kind of make that look a little bit like a circle again. Some of them get a little wild. Kind of start encroaching onto the middle part of this. No mistakes here. We're just going to add a little more paint right back over. Push that boundary right back out. Get to be a little more of a circle. Add a little bit of blue to my brush there, just to make it a little darker. I'm gonna stick with my medium brush here. I'm gonna go to this sunflower here. And when I do this sunflower, I'm gonna go from the top and I'm gonna go on this top section. This, I'm gonna drag the leaves out, these little petals from the top going up. But then when I get around to the bottom, I'm also going to bring those across the front portion of the sunflower, and it's going to really look like those petals are stretching around the center part of the sunflower and reaching towards the sun or where the sun was. So I'm going to and I'm going to use my medium brush, and then I'm going to go just a little bit, just from the top portion of this sunflower here, just on the edge, right on the edge. That way it looks like those petals are poking up just from the back. And I left myself a little bit of space just to kind of go over, back over, kind of bounce back and forth and change colors a little bit, between yellow, white, um, pure yellow, just to give it a little bit of texture back there. And if you guys are looking to get some paints, you guys can use the little 50-cent paints at Walmart or Target. Uh, they have a couple of cheap paints there. If you guys don't have any paints, you guys can use flour or food coloring. Tara did a little video earlier today on how to mix those. That's a really safe way if you want to do kids paintings. They can do paintings, and then also if they happen to lick their fingers or afterwards, it's not going to be bad for them like this kind of stuff is. And also, you guys can do it with chalk. You guys can do it with crayons. You guys can do it on the sidewalk with your chalk. You guys can do it on cardboard boxes, little pieces of paper, anything. You guys can make anything beautiful with art. Kind of just going around the top portion here. And then I'm going to go in here with this yellow in my medium brush still. I'm going to go on this back side of this sunflower, starting from the base, just a little bit into the blue area like you can see here. I'm just going to do short little strokes, push and lift, push and lift. And that's going to kind of give me the shape of the petals here. And this one is just with yellow, but I'm going to go back over it again with a little bit of yellow, a little bit of yellow white, and then I'm going to go back at the very end here. I'm going to do some small brush work with my small brush and some red. Use this to kind of fuzz out that little brown line. Those petals are really coming from the back. Dab of red right there. And I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of red just on the corner piece, if you can see, just on the tip of my paintbrush. And I'm going to be very sparingly and kind of face the red away from it and just very lightly kind of press here. Just going to start accenting just a couple of edges. I'm going to do every other, just a couple spots here and there. Do these ones too. I'm still going to go back in and rework these with the fine brush, the small brush at the very end. But what it's nice to do with the big brush, kind of give you just a different texture, you know, it'll give you a little spot to work with and go over when I do go ahead those yellows. Right into the final touch. This is all just still with the medium brush. I'm just kind of going back through, just add a little bit of red. Just a couple of extra spots of yellow, just to kind of brighten it up. Just bring this guy a little further. All right. Now for the big one, we'll just start doing these petals right here. And how I'm going to do those, I'm going to use my medium brush. I'm going to just use my yellow. I'm going to kind of get my yellow from this portion of my palette, you know, the yellow, a little bit of white here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do you can see this. So be a little U for the bottom portion, kind of like a half a circle like we did for the centers here. And then once I do the bottom circle, I'm just going to bring it up. So I'll do this, kind of like a half circle, and then I'm going to bring those petals out. Something like that. So you'll be able to see them do a half a circle, and then I'm going to bring it up like a point. I'm going to do the same thing all the way around. Half a circle, like a point. And we're going to go back over. There's going to be a couple layers. So what we'll do is we'll kind of go through this layer. We'll do our first row, and then we're going to go back over. We'll kind of mix in more of our yellow and maybe a little darker, maybe a little lighter, kind of see what contrast we get. We'll start stacking them, layering them. It looks like about three layers or so about petals. We'll make some petals pointing down. A couple of petals will have a little bit of sag to them, like they're a little withered or aged. Maybe an animal bumped into them. Half circle. Point. I'm just kind of going back over those bottom half circles right there. Make sure they got enough coverage to cover up that brown spot right here. Then when we do our second pass of petals, it'll really give it some depth. Make it look a little realistic. All right, and now I'm going to kind of bring a little bit of white into my yellow here, and that'll help me with these next layers. I'm going to be right in between. Make these ones a little bit longer. This one's going to sag down a little point. I'm going to kind of keep going in with these, the yellow. And I'm doing half circles on the bottom. To make a little half circle here. I'm going to spin the brush with my thumb, and that really kind of helps me make that little circle spot. Go down around the bottom. Right here. Here. And right now they're looking a little flat. They're just yellow, a little bit of yellow, white, but we're going to go back over those with our small brush. The yellow and white and red, and we'll really be able to add a nice accent colors to those. And if you can see right here, there's a lot of yellow, orange. Makes those front petals really just pop. I'm just dipping a little bit of water in my brush into the water back to my palette, and then I could get a little more life out of these acrylic paints. As they start to dry on your palette, you could add a little more water to them. This one little character of a petal hanging down here. Get this one about right here. All right. And he's just kind of falling down. Looks like a little petal right there. People use up some of these extra things. All right. Kind of give you guys a minute to get caught up. As for this next little section, it's going to be just accentuating. It's just going to be adding little highlights to all of these petals that we just did. So I'm going to take my small brush, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it into the red, and I'm going to try to make a little spot on my palette for some orange. Make a little yellow and red. And I want to try to make it a little bit of a yellow orange, just to try to make it have a nice contrast to the yellow. Kind of want the orange to meet the yellow halfway, I suppose, color spectrum. And I'm going to use the small brush And I'm going to trace out these little sections of the petals to kind of help identify which ones are in the front and which ones are in the back. I'll do a couple of little spots there. Sometimes you can see brush has a little couple hidden colors in there, so there'll be a little solid red, a little more yellow sometimes. Just depends on how heavily you mix. Just a little bit of red, just to stop it's really coming down. Back to the yellow orange. Go right around here. I'm just going to try to trace a couple of these petals here that are falling down. Put those to the side. Highlight this one looks like it's got a little more arch to it there. Start that one down. Let's add some arch to this guy back. Wonderful. Take this color around here a little bit. Just going to make some of these points start standing out. Start bouncing this nice little orange that we made. Some of these little grooves here. Going to make it look like some light hit. Just a little bit. Just on the inside of those. Do some light yellow. Backside of these ones. Kind of help blend those colors. Start really overlapping. Right too. All these little petals start getting a couple extra colors in there. It really gives it some life, you know. Come back here a little bit. White here. Add a couple little more pieces of white. These are going to be like little highlight sections. This little white's going to kind of look like the moonlight's bouncing off it. So I'm just going to get a little bit of this top section here. Get a little bright white in there. All right. Start tracing these up guys out. That's down here. We blended some of that orange with the white as well. Just as well, while I have some of these colors on my brush, I just thought that it was a little bit like the color that we had. But now that I have my small brush, I could kind of layer it over again. It just kind of helps really accentuate these little middle sections here. Looking all right so far. Keep got a couple more colors to add here. I'm going to do a little bit of this bright yellow with my small brush. And also, while I have my small brush and my bright yellow, I'm going to start doing some of these accent swirls in the background while I'm bouncing around these primary colors. I'm going to use this as a little yellow dot. I'm going to do a couple of yellow sporadic dots here and there, all with my small brush. And I'm going to try to layer my yellows over my dark blues. And then I'm going to go rinse my brush out. Go to my red. And a couple of these little red highlights just next to these little yellow ones here. So, a little check marks here. Just following the little flow marks of our little brush strokes that we did before in our background. A couple red ones. Rinse my brush. There we go. Blue. You can kind of see my palette's got a bunch of colors on it now. We just started with this three. Pretty cool, huh? Just started with the red, yellow, and blue, and now we got brown. There's green under there, the orange. All sorts of colors. And see, when I did my yellow marks, I did my yellow marks over my blue, and now I'm taking this dark blue with my small brush. I'm just doing those dark blue marks on the lighter baby blue and white marks, and you can see how much they really pop. It's a lot of movement. It's a lot of fun. Start doing some swirls around. All right. And then, for a couple final touches, I rinse my brush out. I'm going to use my small brush still. I'm going to go to the white. And then with the white, do a couple of swirls around. I'm trying to be careful to dance between those primary colors I just put on there, just because it's going to soften them up if I hit the wet paint, but it's all right. Totally cool if I do. It's going to add neat colors. Couple of highlights. Couple of highlights on these petals here. And just for the last couple little highlights, and then I'll kind of go over what we got going on tomorrow, coming up. So I'm going to use my paintbrush. I'm going to use my small paintbrush, but I'm going to use the end of my paintbrush. And you can use, if you're using a pencil, you're using crayons, whatever you guys are using, I'm just going to use this one because it's going to give me nice little dots without smashing down any of the bristles. You can see these guys popping up. And they make your nice little circle. It looks just like perfect little light glimmers off the seeds that are in the center. Really helps it. Give a little magical feeling, a little magical touch. This is one of my favorite tips that Tara taught me. I like this one a lot. It's fun. I'm going to kind of just get a couple of these highlights on here. Oh, those little petals down there. Those one hiding out. Forgot about that guy down there. Kind of do a little, make this one pop again. Yellow, red. Yellow towards the middle. Just kind of keep going over it till you find out what you like. Go down. A little bit around the top. Bring that one up a little bit. This one's all with my small brush, just to get these last little details in here. This one's just for fun. Right, some petals over here. A small brush. Oops. All right. And that looks like that will be about that painting. Oh, one of the most important things. We gotta sign paintings. So you can sign them anywhere. You can sign them on the side. You can sign them in the corner. You can sign them on the top. Anywhere that you guys like. So I'm just gonna do mine right here. All right. And then the one we have tomorrow for tomorrow's painting is going to be this galaxy. So we will go over all the fun stuff, all the colors that you need. We'll figure out a way to show you guys how to make some of those colors. We'll really be able to make the best of the time we'll be able to spend together and with our families and the people that care about us. Okay. So here it is, a couple sunflowers, a moon, and some swirly grass. Alrighty. Thank you very much for joining us, and then we will be here tomorrow with some more paint or soiree stuff, and then Tara will also join in tomorrow and let you guys some more little hacks on making some paint and some stuff from some household products, and we'll try to really keep this thing going for everybody. So thank you again for joining us. Take care.